There is a sound that resonates within this ancient land. It is the sound of silence. The silence roars within the vibration of love consciousness. Nomadic Aboriginals say, "I do not own the land, I am the land. I am the earth is me. We are one." If we don't respect the land, we will awaken Belong, the rainbow serpent. And she will bring balance by putting everything in its place. She's viewed as the giver of life through her association with water. But she can also be a destructive force of anger. For the Aboriginals, the link between the snake and the rainbow signifies the cycle of seasons and the importance of water in human life. When the rainbow is in the sky, it is said it's the serpent moving from one waterhole to the other. I burn in your presence, in the flame of your truth, the dance of your existence. I dissolve by bowing to the eternal present of that which just is. I am the flame, I am the heat. I am that which remains when nothing else is. I am permanent emptiness which vibrates in the essence that is eternal. When we did Why Walk When You Can Fly, we introduced the first portal in beautiful Uruguay, and we showed so many wonderful shots of this incredible country. Then we flew to India and we introduced the witnessing portal, and that as well was a very exciting experience. And I guess there had to come a time when I would finally take you back to my homeland, back to Australia, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce the profound depth of being, which is focused on nomadic consciousness. And I believe there's no better people to describe nomadic consciousness than the Australian Aboriginals. So we're going to incorporate this very ancient land, this very beautiful land, this very spiritual land with the teachings of the Aboriginals and of course the teachings of the Isha System. So the focus will be on the profound depth of being, and I hope you're going to enjoy this nomadic illusion linked within the dream time. But before we start, I'm going to tell you a story, because the Aboriginals always relate everything through a story, and I think that this is one of my favourite stories when they talk about the girl who became a Brolga. So once upon a time there was a young girl that lived with her mother in the outback, and for 5 years she'd been living in the bush, learning how to live in the bush, how to find food, how to be a nomadic person. At some point the mother said, "It's time for us to go back and reunite with the tribe." And the young girl was so excited because She'd never met other members of the tribe. She'd never met other members of the family. But when she arrived, she could see that everyone was doing these incredible dances, and she'd never learnt to dance. And she was so shy and so embarrassed and felt so incredibly out of place. Anyway, she prayed to the Dreamtime God to teach her how to dance. And one morning she woke up really early and she walked out and she found two brolgas dancing in the bush. And they had all these unique and beautiful actions. And she was so enthralled with the beauty of the dance of the brolgas that every morning she'd race out just to watch the brolgas. She wasn't mixing with the people of the tribe, but she was copying each step of the brolgas' beautiful and exotic dance. They would flap their wings and they would dance together, and it was really a sight to behold. She practiced and she practiced and she practiced. And one day her mother went in to wake her up, and in her place was sitting a brolga. The brolga took flight and went to the heavens. And I imagine that the lesson of the story is that when we embrace our own dance, our own unique beauty, we learn to love ourselves exactly as we are and to flow within that uniqueness. It's then that we start to live at one with the universe. Welcome to this nomadic ancient land. Welcome to the dream time, and welcome to the profound depth of being. The Aboriginal elders lead the tribe through their dream time to show them their connection with the spiritual world. These nomadic people believe that Mother Earth gives them everything. Modern society is always involved in attaining goals and acquiring possessions, and not just celebrating and giving gratitude and grace to the abundance that's here now. Children and nature are constantly joyous. They perceive abundance and plenitude where adults see lack. They are steeped within the beauty of being. Nothing but self exists. How can there be anything that's not based in perfection? Nothing but love consciousness exists. How can there be anything that is not based in perfection? Om, the profound depth of being. Om, the profound depth of being. Om, the profound depth of being. From the beginning of time, man has always been leaving his print on the world. It defines his individuality. But when you see many prints united, it defines community. This was a very important aspect of the nomadic Aboriginal society, their individual roles within the tribe, making it a story of union. I think that one of the most interesting things about the Aboriginals is that when they revisited a place, they would always cover the old story with a new story. These nomadic people were constantly in evolution, learning from the past, but not dwelling on the past. This way, they were always evolving and giving their message to all the other members of the tribe. Humans are nomadic by nature. We yearn to connect, we yearn to discover, to have new experiences, to travel, be it physically or with our mind, by the waves of the internet. We are always craving to perceive more. Om, the profound depth of being. One of the most important aspects of nomadic life is the capacity to flow. And obviously, the Aboriginal communities were flowing within nature, looking for food and sustenance. Continually they returned to their spiritual sites. Modern humans must rediscover their capacity to flow, to live in the here and now, to say yes to what they are creating in each moment. Evolution is constantly letting go of past ideas. I think modern society has lost the capacity to do that. We are so bound within traditions and ideas that have become redundant. Traditions and ideas that just don't fit in this present moment awareness. On the other hand, humanity is constantly expanding love consciousness. We need to have the capacity to change the page of the newspaper. We should revere more change than tradition, unless the traditions are based in love consciousness and not fear. We're always looking for external structures to give us security, whereas the only home that can give it to us is the profound depth of being. And that beingness is within the heart. The heart lives in union. The heart gives. The heart isn't yearning for anything external because it feels complete within itself. And from that place, we keep evolving. We keep becoming more within our human experience. That stillness, that security, that love, it's always present, and it's something that we can never lose. Om, the profound depth of being. Om, the profound depth of being. Nomadic lives nowadays could be in an aeroplane, in a taxi, in a bus, where we could be just walking around the corner to the local kiosk. We are still in action. And we have to become consciousness in action. Humans are rarely present, rarely in the moment, and rarely embracing all the extraordinary beauty that surrounds them. In the jungles, from the forests to the cities, and the uniqueness of each human we meet in each corner of our lives. We don't perceive that because we're so incessantly superficial, skipping over the surface of the pond instead of diving into the depth of the water and discovering what's underneath. We are trying to survive. We are not learning how to live. We're taught to compete, not how to unite. We are taught that all riches are external, when in reality our riches are internal. Om, the profound depth of being. We must learn to be ourselves and not someone else. The need is to be present. The need is to perceive the sounds, the smells, everything that in nature its complexity and beauty offers. To be living from the profound depth of being. Om, the profound depth of being. When our individual identity becomes our box, it also becomes our coffin. Because we are saying, I'm not that, and at some point in evolution, we have to realize that I am that. We always feel that there's something to protect, as if we are not just present within ourselves. We are not just present with our own internal love. Because we live so much on the surface, we perceive illusionary threats all the time. We perceive everything as a threat to our territory. But when we are anchored deeply within, nothing can ever question that territory. Nothing can move it. Everything is in transit and changing so much that all humans feel threatened by it. We are constantly perceiving through our senses. It could come in through the ears, a thought comes in, then we move into protection mode. Or we use something external to justify the mind of why we can't be safe. We're safe all the time. When we were nomads living in nature, we had things to protect ourselves from, like crocodiles or fires or droughts or other tribes. There was a need of being conscious and aware of what was happening around us as a defense. Now, most of the suffering and fear comes from an idea. It's not a reality. We are protecting ourselves from illusions all the time. They are just memories that are not present in this moment. And they can actually destroy a perfect moment just because of a thought, a fear, an idea. Om, the profound depth of being. When humans learn to live in their hearts, those ideas and fears are just like a blowfly that's moving past. It's just an aspect of nature. We're not identified with the fly that's on our nose, we're identified with the forest and all its beauty and everything that is happening. When we let go of desire, peace ensured. Because without desire, there is no need. And need is never in this moment. It's always in a future moment. We always have exactly what we need in every moment. So desire is always filling a void. It's not embracing the perfection of the now. It always perceives something missing, something wrong. It's clear to see that there's nothing missing and there's nothing wrong. Everything is abundantly perfect. The harmony is just to be found and listened to. Om, the profound depth of being. Om, the profound depth of being. When we live without love consciousness, our hearts are like a desert. But when the first drops of love consciousness start to touch us, it starts to flower abundantly. When the consciousness enters, everything starts to flourish. The desert of the heart turns into the oasis of love consciousness. Om, the profound depth of being.